How's it going, everybody? It's Nathan from Tartan Strings, and in this video I'm going to show you how to string the Mirage 2.0 from East Coast Dyes. We're going to do the sidewall today. So I'm going to get straight into it, and I think the best way to do that is to do a raw footage film, just straight up, and try and go in depth with close-up camera views with how you guys can do this. So Greg's been doing this for years, and that's how I started stringing lacrosse heads. So I think the best way to do it, I mean, I don't see anyone else doing it on YouTube often, so I'm going to try and do it often. But we'll see what happens here. I think I'm going to get right into it and start with tying the first loop. So what I do is 1 knot, 2 knots around my finger, so it creates something, like, honestly, just do it the way that you want to do it. And then when you pull it tight, it should just look something like this. Nice knot. That's it. That's all you need. Stringing is easier than people make it to be out. And where we're going to put this sidewall string, we're going to put it not the first one, not the second hole, because you got the top string here. But you could, but it's all personal preference. You're going to put it in the third hole. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to string it through just like that. We're going to lace it through and put it through that first 10 diamond row of mesh. Just like that, And then we're going to loop it through, back through that hole, the same hole. And when you layer it, I'm going to show you in a sec. Make sure it doesn't overlap itself because it's just going to look cleaner. So when you tighten it, it's just going to look like that. But then you're also going to put it back through that first diamond hole. Okay, so when you pull it tight, it's going to look like that. Okay? All right. So you can do any knot that you want first, but a rule of thumb is the first 2, 3, or 4 diamonds, depending on the head, you want to pull the mesh down, okay, so it creates the channel. And I'm going to use anchor knots because that's what I've been using, but you can use easier knots like SIs all the way down the head. Some people do that. With these tutorials, I'm just going to use different knots every now and then. We'll see what happens, because that's pretty much the basis. That's one thing that a lot of people do not know. When you're stringing a lacrosse head, they just start doing, I don't even know what. But when you go to Dick's Sporting Goods and you see these heads that have no pocket, you wonder how they even got to stringing there. I don't get it. So since this is on the 3rd diamond row, we're gonna skip 4. We're gonna skip the 5th and go to the 6th one. Okay. So skip 2, and you go in through the outside of the head. Okay. And when you loop up, you're gonna loop up through the mesh. Okay. I'm trying my best, guys. I'll figure it out. So outside, through the outside, up into the second 10 diamond mesh row, because here's the first one, 9 row, and then this is the 10th row. Okay, mainly we want to stay on the 10 diamond rows. Some people do the 9s here and there, but it's, again, personal preference, but I'm showing you like the basics. So through that 10 diamond row. Now, the more you string heads, the more you feel like a rhythm of stringing. So to finish this loop off, you want to end up going between. So this is what I kind of see. You want to go between that loop right there. Okay? So this is kind of like the opposite view, but you want to complete it by literally just pulling it through. So when it's done, creates that loop. So you can figure it out. I'm going to figure it out and just tighten it. So what I like to do is tighten it from the outside so that first part of the string is like attached to the head almost, and literally pull it. So that's going to create that knot. And we're going to do this again, same knot, skipping just one hole. So this is the 7th hole. We're going to go down to this 8th one. Okay, same thing through the outside of the head, up through the 3rd row, 10 diamond row of the mesh. Okay, something like that. All right. Okay. And then we're gonna go through that loop again. See how that came down? See how that came together? Right? Let me tighten it. I like to put my thumb on the inside so that you see how this string right here is like tight. This part of the string is tight so that you can pull it down and it creates the loop right there. So that's 2 anchor knots, right? And for a while, I didn't want to make any video on the Mirage 2.0 because I couldn't find, personally, a good pattern until I saw Greg's version of it, and this is like a perfect pocket for this Mirage. I'm going to start playing with it, and this is pretty much my go-to for this head. So what he did here was, next, it's called an SI. So we have 2 anchor knots. We've already used 3 diamonds of mesh. 1, 2, 3. We're going to use the next 2 here. 1, 2. For this, it's called a 1 SI. So what we do, we go up through this 4th diamond row. I'm going to show you. 4. So up 4, right? And then down 5. Without going through the head at all. Just through the mesh. Okay, so when you pull it together, it's going to be something like that. So here's the 4th row, here's the 5th, okay? All right, and then we're going to skip two sidewall holes. So this is what, the 9th? This is the 10th. We're going to go through this 11th one right here, okay? So again, through the outside of the head, right? And then up. You can kind of see right there, in between where the head is and in between this part of the string where you first looped it in, you want to make sure it goes through so when you pull it, it locks into place. Okay? So now you can see the pockets already starting to be created. Okay? Now, we're going to do that again, but we're not going to skip any sidewall holes. So it's going to be up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 6. Right? Right? Up 6. And then down 7. Remember, we're still using only the 10 diamond rows. Okay? Down 6. I'm sorry, down 7. Up 6, down 7. Okay, so it should look something like that. We're going to go through this next sidewall hole right here. Okay, when you loop it around, you could even do this first. Make sure it's tight. And then it should be all set up in place, the string, to where you can just go right back up through that same diamond mesh hole. So when you pull it, it's just going to look right in place like how it should be. So here's the first 1 SI and then the second 1 SI, okay? SI stands for Special Interlock. I had to think for a sec. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're not going to do a 1 SI, we're going to do an SI, which is just one singular interlock, special interlock, which is back down through the next diamond hole, okay? And we're not going to skip any sidewall holes, so we're going to have 3 where there's going to be strings involved, okay? So since we went down, we go back through the outside of the next sidewall hole. Okay, when you pull it, make sure you put it through that same mesh diamond, Okay, and then just pull it. Pull it tight. Okay. And now we're gonna do a 1, not a 1 SI, not a SI, we're doing a 1. We're almost done here. Usually a pocket to be the perfect depth, we use 10 sidewall diamonds down the side, okay? Sometimes you could get away with 11. Very rarely can you get away with 9 or 12. It really depends on where you place your pocket and where you place the bottom string, okay? But since we've figured it out, Greg's figured it out, it's pretty much 10 diamonds. And this is their East Coast Dyes limited edition, or it's not South Beach, but this is the other one. I think this is just the ECD, like, original colorway, the blue and the yellow. It's nice. It is. We're doing a 1. And for this one, we're just gonna go up. The 9th sidewall, or mesh diamond, I should say. The 9th one, because we got one more. So since we just went up it, you could even like push it up a little bit, you know. And then we are skipping a sidewall hole. So this one we're skipping, we're gonna go down to this one. Loop it through the outside, okay? So when you loop it, don't go through any mesh. You just wanna pull it around, see, and then when you tighten it, the mesh should be locked right into place, okay? And then for this one, for the end, instead of going up through the diamond, we're gonna go just down through the 10th mesh diamond. So it's gonna be this one right here. We're just gonna go down it. It's pretty simple, you know, just straight down through it. Okay. Just straight through it. And then not the last diamond hole, but we're gonna skip one, but we're gonna go through this one. Sidewall hole, I should say. Okay. Through the inside of it. So since we went down the mesh, we're also gonna go through the inside, see? And then you could be done here, but what I like to do is I like to wrap the sidewall back through this same hole, just to keep it like locked in pretty much. And when you do it, it's gonna do the same layering again. Just make sure it looks clean. You know what I mean? So when you do it, when you pull it back through, just make sure it's tight, and that should be it right there. And then just tie it off. Right. I'm telling you, if you try this and you keep watching videos, like don't even just watch my videos, you can go back to when Greg was doing old videos. You could watch Mainly Mesh, you could watch Mako Sports. These guys all have solid tutorials. But that's right where the pocket's gonna sit, you know? That's the release point right there. It's probably right where the ball will sit right after, right before hitting the shooting strings. And it's just gonna click right off the head. Not off the head, but off those shooting strings. Okay, that's the pocket. Solid mid, I'd say. Mid pocket, shifty, a little shifty, but that's pretty solid right there. Good channel. You know, ECD just kind of blows me away every time they make a head. Like that first Mirage was okay, but this one just blows it out the park. And don't even get me started on the DNA, because I've already had my opinions on that head, and that head is just absolutely amazing. Excuse me. That's pretty much it, though. I will fix the overall camera angles, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to absolutely do this and show you guys how to do it close up, because a lot of people think this is tough, and honestly it really isn't if you understand how to do knots and how to just go through the mesh diamonds. It's way better than doing traditional traditional mesh, because once you get that in the rain, you're done. And it's just easier. It's harder to string. Mesh, this is just way easier to string. You got like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strings here and there. It's not bad. You guys will figure it out. That's the pocket. I appreciate everyone for watching. Please shoot me a like. Share it with anyone you think might want to string, might want to learn to string. Shoot me some comments. I'll read them. Get back to me. Message me on Instagram at Tartan Strings. I also have a link tree in my bio, so you can buy whatever I'm selling. Get into contact with me, and we'll talk business, all right? I appreciate it. Make sure everyone has a good day. I'm out. Peace.